Great day, students. It's Mr. Sargent here with another science video. Now, today's video is concerning a very interesting topic, especially if you're a fan of superheroes. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking a little bit about mutations. And I cannot wait to learn about mutations and about traits and about all of these things. But it all starts with one thing, ladies and gentlemen, and that is deoxyribonucleic acid. We all know what deoxyribonucleic acid is. It's DNA. DNA is the code that makes you, you. It makes a strawberry a strawberry. It makes a dog a dog. It is a series of codes that, when put together, can determine a person's hair color, shape of their nose, their color of their eyes, the color of their hair. It determines and it sets up what that person is going to look like. Now, we are born with deoxyribonucleic acid, or this DNA code inside of us, and that is what we call inherited. Now, as we know before, inherited traits are things that you're born with, whether it's your eye color, hair color, birthmarks, dimples. I got one here under the beard. All of these are inherited traits. Now, on the other hand, if I move over here, we have acquired or learned traits. These are things that we learn over time, like how to ride a bike, how to do backflips, how to read a book, how to speak, how to walk. These are all things that we have learned over time. So, with a mixture of inherited traits and acquired traits, you put those two together and we have what makes up us. It's our DNA. It's our deoxyribonucleic acid. Now, if we're talking about mutations though, let's take a break for a second, catch our breath. Let's talk about superheroes. My first favorite superhero is Wolverine. Pretty cool, right? Wolverine has the power to heal, has the power to be strong and quick, has the power to have some great hair. Yeah. Though his parents did not have mutant powers. So how did he get them? Well, ladies and gentlemen, mutations. Mutations occur in the DNA for a number of reasons. You have to remember that deoxyribonucleic acid isn't just a long name, it's a long code. If we were looking at this as far as numbers, and we put all of the DNA in a number sequence, we would be counting for about 5 years, just straight, all of those numbers that would equal one strand of DNA. It is a very long code. So when there's a mutation, something in the code is missing, something in the code has changed, maybe something has added to that code. Now, when that happens, we have a mutation. But does becoming Wolverine happen to all of us? Well, no, it doesn't. And it doesn't happen that often, is it, either. Mutations are rare. They won't give us superpowers. They will not let us be able to fly or become invisible or, have super strength. But sometimes they can change us. Now, it's important to understand that these changes, these mutations, sometimes can be harmful and they can be helpful. Now, some mutations help a plant or an animal survive in their nature. That's called an adaptation. Over thousands of years, the DNA of these animals or plants have changed over the year. Take, for instance, a cactus. When a cactus was originally a cactus, it didn't have the spikes, it needed a lot of water. But because of the area that it lived in and the environmental effects of it, it had to adapt and change its DNA. So now, every cactus has, small root system and thorns to protect itself. And other mutations are pretty cool too when you take a look at the Siberian tiger. When we're really looking at a tiger, tigers are orange with black stripes, always. But the Siberian tiger is white with black stripes. And it's helped it survive in the Arctic for a long, long time. But really, it was a mutation that caused this animal to become the way it looks. A change in the DNA helped the Siberian tiger survive in its environment. Now, there are a lot of other cool mutations out there. If you look around me, we have them in fruits, we have them in plants, and sometimes they be quite beautiful. But sometimes mutations can be dangerous as well. Take, for instance, the disease cancer. A cancer is not... Many scientists consider cancer and other diseases a genetic mutation, which something in their DNA has changed or was missing or wasn't there, causing the mutation for the cancer or for the disease. See, not all mutations are good and not all mutations are bad, but it's a part of our everyday life. It's who we are. It's who they are. Deoxyribonucleic acid is the code that makes us us. So even though mutations are not going to make us superheroes or Ninja Turtles or anything like that, they are a part of everyday life in the world. They're part of people's lives every day. People learn to live with their adaptations and learn to live with their mutations every day. And then they learn to adapt. And that's where we're headed next, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk a little bit about adaptation, but you've listened to me talk for long enough. It's time for some vocabulary.
It's adaptation. It's adaptation. It's adaptation. It's true. Plants don't have a brain, but they still adapt to where they live, okay? Plants adapt to their environment, like a desert plant. What should it be like? Well, in the desert, it almost never rains, so a desert plant would need to save water. And desert animals want to take a bite, so a desert plant should be covered in spikes. And the fact is, the cactus is just that. Its thick stem stores water. Imagine that its spikes make the hungry animals just stop. Let's switch to the rainforest. It rains a lot. A cactus will store too much water and die. So rainforest plants are a different shape and size. Their big waxy leaves let the water run off them. They've adapted. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's adaptation. We change, we thrive. It's adaptation. Sometimes that's the only way to survive. It's adaptation. We change, we thrive. It's adaptation. Sometimes that's the only way to survive.
Animals adapt to their environment too. I don't mean living in the zoo. It's sweet the way they adapt to eat. A lion has sharp teeth to tear into meat. A cow's teeth are way more flat, so they can chew all that grass. A hummingbird has a long skinny beak, and they love the flower nectar. It lets them reach. A pelican has a big beak hard to miss, and they just love to stuff it with fish. Animals also adapt for protection. They might be camouflage just to blend in. Like a stick insect looks like a stick. A squirrel is the color of the tree where it lives. Flounder a flat, they disappear on the ocean floor. What you think of porcupine spikes are for?
It's adaptation. We change, we thrive. It's adaptation. Sometimes that's the only way to survive. It's adaptation. We change, we thrive. It's adaptation. Sometimes that's the only way to survive. The only way to survive.
Said it before, thank you vocabulary once again for a great explanation of what adaptations are. And later on this week, we're going to talk even more about adaptation. So let's review real quick before we head out. We have deoxyribonucleic acid is a code that makes us us. We have inherited traits. We have acquired or learned traits. Both of these together help us, both of these together create who we are and what we look like. And then there's some mutations that happen, and that's a change in the deoxyribonucleic acid code. Some things are taken out, some things are added, but it is a change in the code. It could be from birth, it could be inherited, or it could be environmental. like we talked about with the cactus. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this explanation helps you a little bit better. We're going to be talking more about the word adaptations in a later time, and I cannot wait. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to see each and every one of you again too. So hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, go back in the video and definitely keep learning.